Hi there! Here, we turn psychology books into clear, thoughtful audio journeys so you can understand the mind one idea at a time. Feel free to subscribe for more. Let's dive in together. What if every single thing you do, your ambitions, your relationships, your desire to leave a legacy is just a psychological shield against one terrifying truth? Welcome back to the library. Today we are opening up Ernest Becker's Pulitzer Prize-winning masterpiece, The Denial of Death. Becker argues that human beings are uniquely cursed. We are the only creatures burdened with a conscious knowledge of our own morality. To survive the sheer terror of that fact, we build what he calls immortality projects or hero systems. We create art, build wealth, or adopt strict ideologies just to feel like we are part of something eternal that won't die when our physical bodies do. It is just the ultimate driving force behind human behavior, both our greatest achievements and our darkest conflicts. Let's look at the psychology behind our deepest fear.
Imagine your computer is running perfectly fine, but what you don't realize is that, 90% of its processing power is secretly being drained by this massive invisible background program.
Right, a program entirely dedicated to keeping a catastrophic virus at bay.
Exactly. And your brain is doing the exact same thing.
That background program is, it's running right now. It is constantly filtering out the crushing reality of your own mortality.
So you can just, buy groceries.
Or answer emails without freezing in total terror.
Yeah. And that edited reality is exactly what we're exploring today. Since you're already familiar with the basic premise of immortality projects and the fear of death, we are bypassing all that introductory stuff.
I'm jumping right in.
Right. Welcome to today's customized deep dive. We are jumping straight into the deep end of Ernest Becker's The Denial of Death.
We're looking at 3 sophisticated, maybe slightly dark psychological frameworks today.
Frameworks that secretly architect your personality, your desires, and, modern society in general.
And to see how this invisible dread shapes us, we actually need to look at the guy who basically invented modern psychoanalysis.
Sigmund Freud.
And specifically where Becker says he went completely off the rails.
Because Freud thought repressed sexuality was the subconscious driver of, everything. Are you saying he just missed the boat entirely?
According to Becker, yeah, pretty much. I mean, Freud eventually tried to patch his whole libido theory with this biological death instinct.
Right.
But Becker argues that making death an instinct was really just a way to domesticate it. If death is just a biological drive, you can categorize it.
Oh, I see. You don't have to face this terrifying existential void.
Exactly. Becker argues our deepest driver isn't repressed sex, it's the repressed terror of our own mortality.
So Freud was essentially, treating a scraped knee while ignoring a massive internal bleed.
Yeah.
But why would a genius like Freud have such a massive blind spot?
Well, because Freud himself was notoriously terrified of dying. He actually suffered from fainting spells and intense death anxiety.
Wait, really? Freud?
Yeah, Freud. So Becker makes this brilliant kind of ironic observation. Freud's neat clinical structure of psychoanalytic theory wasn't just detached science.
It was a defense mechanism.
It's his personal defense mechanism, yes.
He used his own life's work as a psychological shield to cope with his fear of oblivion. That is wild.
It really is.
But okay, if Freud built an entire scientific discipline to hide from his mortality, what do the rest of us do? I mean, how do everyday people manage to function without just breaking down?
Well, we build what Becker calls character armor.
Character armor.
Right, the personality you've constructed over your lifetime, your daily routines, your specific habits, your reactions. Becker says it's essentially a vital lie.
A lie?
Yeah, it is this rigid structure built to protect you from the overwhelming randomness of the universe.
Wait, I have a hard time buying that every single personality trait is just a trauma response to mortality. Are you saying, my sense of humor or someone's love for painting is just a vital lie?
It's not that those things aren't real, but Becker argues they function as a psychological narrowing.
Okay, narrowing how?
By obsessing over small, manageable things. like, say, perfecting a painting technique, or even just adhering strictly to a morning routine. You create a false sense of permanence and control.
Oh, wow. So you trick your brain into forgetting its ultimate vulnerability.
Exactly.
The routine itself is the shield. It filters out the dread. But if it's a lie, shouldn't self-actualization mean shedding that armor, like living truthfully?
You would think so, but Becker warns that taking off that armor is incredibly dangerous. To shed it completely is to admit the full flood of despair.
Seriously.
Yeah, he actually points to Shakespeare's King Lear to illustrate this. When Lear is stripped of his psychological defenses and his royal titles, he doesn't become enlightened.
He goes completely mad in the storm.
Precisely. Without that armor, you are exposed to the sheer, terrifying scale of reality.
Just like taking off a spacesuit in a vacuum. The pressure differential would just destroy you.
That's a great way to put it.
But clearly, internal routines and character traits aren't always enough, right? Sometimes the spacesuit cracks. So do we just panic when that happens? Or do you look for something outside of ourselves to hide behind?
We look outward, which brings us to transference. Humans have this desperate psychological need to hero worship charismatic leaders or merge with powerful groups.
How does that actually protect us from the fear of death, though?
By projecting our own helplessness onto an authority figure, we sort of fetishize their power and confidence. Mechanically, the brain thinks, well, if I submit to this incredibly powerful person or this massive political movement, their invulnerability will somehow rub off on me.
Oh, man. So we use them as a locus for our own immortality.
Yes, exactly.
It's essentially passengers clinging to the captain of a sinking ship, hoping the captain's fancy uniform means the ship won't go down.
Right.
But there's a really dark symbiosis there because the leaders need the followers too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The leaders use the blind devotion of the masses to cure their own fear of isolation and insignificance. It's a closed loop of what Becker calls safe heroism.
Wow. So next time you see people blindly following a charismatic politician, or, even if you just notice yourself rigidly clinging to your morning coffee routine, remember what you are actually watching.
You are seeing existential defense mechanisms at work in real time.
It completely shifts your perspective on why society functions the way it does.
It really does change everything.
Which leaves you with one final question to mull over. If every quirk of your personality and every powerful leader you admire is really just a psychological shield to protect you from the terror of death,
Right.
who would you actually be if you knew you could never die?